All right, let's talk about the power of small stories. Most fantasy, the big epic stuff we all know, asks a very specific question. Can the hero save the world? It's about prophecies, ancient evils, and armies clashing on a scale that's hard to even imagine. But what if fantasy asked a different question? A smaller one. Can a good man stay good in a world that consistently rewards the cruel? One of these is a story about power. The other is a story about character. And that's where we find Dunk and Egg. The world of Westeros as we know it is enormous. Its history is soaked in blood and fire. The dragons have died out. Kings have risen and fallen in spectacular, often violent fashion. The realm is constantly in a state of rebuilding, patching itself up from the last war, racing for the next. But this particular story, the Hedge Knight isn't about the Iron Throne. It's not about grand dynasties or who will rule the Seven Kingdoms. It's about the dirt and the mud beneath the throne. It's about the common folk, the people who live and die without ever seeing a king's face. Enter our heroes. A hedge knight named Duncan the Tall. He has no house, no lands, no gold, no grand legacy. All he has is his armor, his horse, and a code of honor he inherited from his dead master. And with him is a boy, Egg, a bald-headed kid pretending to be his squire, who is much more than he appears. Together, they wander the roads of Westeros. They aren't trying to save the world. They're not fulfilling some ancient prophecy. They're just trying to find a lord to serve, earn enough money for their next meal, and maybe, just maybe, keep their souls intact inside a system designed to break them. Every conflict in their story is, on the surface, small. A local tournament at a place called Ashford Meadow. A stolen dragon egg. A trial by 7 where one knight must defend his name against a prince. These aren't world-ending stakes. The fate of millions doesn't hang in the balance. But that's precisely why it works so well. It's personal. Now, let's compare that to some of the huge fantasy epics we see today. Think about shows like Asterisk, The Rings of Power Asterisk, Asterisk, The Wheel of Time Asterisk, or even parts of Asterisk, The Witcher Asterisk. They often feature these breathtaking scenes with armies of 100,000 soldiers clashing on a vast battlefield. CGI monsters roar, cities fall, and magic lights up the sky. It's spectacular, no doubt. It's visually stunning. But let me ask you a question. When you see two massive, faceless armies collide, do you really, truly care who wins? You might root for the good guys in a general sense, but you don't know the individual soldiers. They're just pixels on a screen, anonymous figures in a grand spectacle. The scale is so massive that the human element gets lost. But in Dunk and Egg, one man, just one, loses a fight. And it feels like the sun just went out. Your heart sinks. Because for him, for Dunk, that loss is everything. It's his honor, his livelihood, his entire future on the line. The story makes you invest in him so deeply that his personal failure feels more catastrophic than the fall of a fictional kingdom you have no connection to. We feel the weight of his shield, the ache in his muscles, the fear in his gut. The stakes are small, but they feel monumental because they are intensely human. That's the core on it. Dunk isn't a traditional hero. He's not the chosen one. He's not the most skilled fighter. He's not the smartest man in the room. He's just stubbornly, sometimes foolishly, honest. He's a good man trying to do the right thing in a world that punishes decency. He gets knocked down, beaten, and humiliated, but he always gets back up because he believes in the simple, almost naive idea of what a true knight should be. And Egg? He's not just a sidekick. He's a window into the world of the powerful, but seen from the ground up. He's learning about the realm, not from a maester in a castle, but from sleeping in ditches and seeing firsthand how the small folk live and suffer. He's not a special prophesied child yet. He's just a boy, soaking it all in. Together, they're not chasing destiny. They're just two small figures trying to survive in a world of giants, trying to navigate a landscape filled with arrogant lords and cruel knights who could crush them without a second thought. This isn't fantasy about changing the world. It's fantasy about surviving it with your humanity intact. It's about the quiet, often thankless, struggle to be a good person when all the incentives push you to be selfish and cruel. It's a story that understands that true courage isn't always found on the battlefield, leading a charge. Sometimes, courage is standing up for someone who can't defend themselves, even when you know you'll pay a price for it. It's speaking truth to power, even when your voice shakes. This is what small-scale storytelling truly means. It doesn't mean less important. It doesn't mean the stakes are lower. It means the story is more focused, more intimate, and often more honest. It zooms in on the individual experience. Because let's face it, saving the world is a wonderful fantasy. It's escapism at its grandest. But the struggle to stay decent when the world around you is anything but? The fight to hold on to your principles when it would be so much easier to let them go? That's not just fantasy. That's the real fight. That's the struggle we all face, in big ways and small, every single day. And that's why these small stories, these tales of hedge knights and their squires, can feel more epic and more meaningful than any tale of dragons and thrones. They remind us that the biggest battles are often the ones fought within our own hearts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. Let me know in the comments what your favorite small-scale story is. See you in the next one.